Well, you're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, Pittsburgh artists who are going to have an opportunity to showcase their creations. Lonnie Walton shares how those residents in the community are reacting.
Also, Carl Junction classes take time to practice safety procedures in the event of an earthquake.
And no earthquakes right now, but a beautiful start to the day, albeit chilly. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner, just after 7 o'clock on this Friday, October the 18th.
Yes.
Welcome. So, we're going to talk about it later.
Sure.
I discussed it earlier, but it just brought back some memories. The Shake It Out, and I'm not talking Taylor Swift this time. I'm talking the earthquake drill. But I told you earlier, but for those of you just joining us, when I was in the 2nd grade at Cecil Floyd, scientists or whoever it was, they were convinced the New Madrid fault line, you folks at home may remember this, was going to go off in a major earthquake at some point in the early 90s. And so we had earthquake drills like every other week. Of course, thankfully, it never happened.
That's got to be scary as a kid.
It is. I mean, in 2nd grade, they're like, here, hide under your desk in case the building falls down. I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Hold on to your desk while the ground is shaking uncontrollably. Okay, that seems like a good idea. No uncontrollable shaking, though, in Pittsburgh, although some folks shaking with joy.
Yes, a little spooky joy. The city of Pittsburgh is getting a facelift, and it's probably not the kind of facelift you're thinking of.
Young artists from all over the community got a chance to paint local businesses with their favorite Halloween artwork. KOAM's Lonnie Walton takes us to the streets to see how residents are reacting.
An old Pittsburgh, downtown Pittsburgh tradition that we've revived this year. It hasn't happened in 10 to 15 years. Someone reached out to the Downtown Advisory Board and said, hey, we really missed this.
Sarah Runyon from the city of Pittsburgh says this Halloween window painting was something the city just could not live without.
Great time of the year to do something fun for the kids, but also I think downtown and the Pittsburgh community in general, they were just kind of itching to see this tradition come back to life. So it's been a huge, huge response.
A local business owner from the restaurant BAM says it's a time for the community to engage.
We have an exciting downtown. We have a lot of new shops. We have a lot of activity down here, particularly this weekend, of course. It's a homecoming weekend.
Not only are the pictures nice to look at, they also can brighten up your day.
I mean, I was having a pretty bad day, and me and my friends were driving by and just seeing like the little beats of artwork, it's very personal. It's very, people put their time into it.
Oh, I think it's nice. It gives you something to look at. We were out walking, so it's something to look at.
Very festive for Halloween and intermixed with the gorilla red and gold.
It's more than just a display, it's a competition. Judges will choose winners that will receive prizes. In the meantime, the people of the community are all winners, getting to enjoy a little holiday spirit on display. Reporting in Pittsburgh, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Well, the competition should be completed just in time for Saturday's PSU Homecoming Parade this Saturday. Tomorrow. Exciting.
It is. It feels like Saturday's still a little ways away. I mean, I know it's Friday, but it does feel like it's still a little far away. But lots going on this Saturday.
Yes,
of course, the homecoming game. We've got Maple Leaf Parade in Carthage.
Sure.
And we've got temperatures on the increase. But first, this morning, and this is, look at that, isn't that just absolutely gorgeous? Lovely shot of the sunrise from our camera in downtown Pittsburgh. Got another great shot of that sunrise from our camera at 7th and Rangeline in Joplin. Look at these colors, just beautiful out there. We'll head out to the MoDOT camera at 20th and Rangeline. It's looking south and west, and we got plenty of folks on the road now, kind of eager to start that Friday commute. And the KDOT camera 69 East 520th Avenue getting a little more daylight. We got some commuters up here. They are on their way. They're like, come on, let's go. Let's get through this Friday. And that's what we're going to do together. Here's a look at the future track. The only thing it's really got to show us is the winds. Again, gusting today. Through the morning, they'll start to pick up. Here's that line. I'm kind of just drawing with my hand. Like yesterday, though, northwest of that, winds could gust 30 to 40 miles an hour. Southeast of that, winds are more likely to be in the 20 to 30 mile an hour range. But either way you paint it, no outdoor burning. please. There may not be red flag warnings in place right now, but that doesn't mean it's any safer. Temperatures today are going to be a little warmer, a little closer to average for most of us out there, and then we could have a few clouds later this evening. Again, a bit chilly to start, though. We're at 45 in Joplin, sitting at 44 in Pittsburgh, and across the region, temperatures a little cooler down south. We've still got some 30s, Miami, Grove, and Jay. Elsewhere, though, Stockton now, 36. We're into the low, mid, and upper 40s. Highs today, again, upper 60s, low 70s, so about where we should be. Breezy and clear skies until we head later into the evening. We're going to continue to warm up through the weekend and next week, and we've got some slight rain chances on the horizon. Details on all that coming up in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll see you soon, Chris. Well, some Oklahomans are suing to prevent mandating Bibles in schools. More than 30 Oklahomans have been named as plaintiffs in a lawsuit against the Oklahoma superintendent regarding his order to have the Bible as required material in every Oklahoma public school classroom. Now, the suit was filed yesterday in the Oklahoma Supreme Court. Last month, Superintendent Ryan Walters announced that $3 million in state funds would be used to purchase and supply 55,000 Bibles to Oklahoma schools. Now, the plaintiffs are seeking a judgment stating that the Bible education mandate is invalid and unenforceable. The plaintiffs in the case include Oklahoma spiritual leaders, parents, and teachers. In response to the lawsuit, Walter stated on social media, in part, quote, "It is not possible for our students to understand the American history and culture without understanding the biblical principles from which they came. I will never back down to the woke mob, no matter what tactic they use to try to intimidate Oklahomans," end quote. Now, you can see more of Walter's response and see the full petition and lawsuit on our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. Police arrested juvenile suspected of a hoax terroristic threat in Neosho, Missouri. Wednesday, Neosho police responded to the junior high to investigate a report of a terroristic threat. Now, detectives learned that 2 boys had taken a photo of BB guns, and that was later edited and posted on social media by a 12-year-old girl. Police say the photo indicated that a school shooting was to take place on Wednesday. Detectives determined that it was a hoax and no real threat existed. Authorities went on to say if this had been from an adult, multiple charges would have been filed, including making a terroristic threat first degree, which is a Class D felony, which carries up to 7 years in prison. Classes at Carl Junction paused to take cover and practice how they would stay safe during an earthquake yesterday. KOAM's Melissa Alexis has more.
If like some of the roof comes down, we it hits our back and not our head.
Carl Junction students are some of the many students that participated in International Shakeout Day to raise awareness for earthquake safety.
We went under the table and we grabbed onto one of the bars and we put our hands on our head.
So ideally, you want them to get outside and be safe from anything that could fall on them. In the event that's not possible, we seek somewhere underneath a secure table or something that would be safe for them.
While most earthquake centers are to the southwest and east of the Joplin area, some residents have felt the shockwaves from one as recent as February 2024.
History would tell us that anytime you live east or western or near the Mississippi or Missouri River, it's possible that they can make their way to the Midwest. And we don't know what always underlies underneath our surfaces.
When instructions were given to students over the intercom, students went under their desk to practice what they would do if there was a real earthquake.
When there's an earthquake, we should put our hands on our head and get under the table.
Education is super important. Any academic procedures we put in place are important, but the number one job for us as a building is to ensure that when the parents drop their kids off, that their students are safe.
Shakeout Day is meant to remind people that they could be anywhere when an earthquake strikes, like at work or at school. And they want to make sure people have the tools to be prepared. Reporting in Carl Junction, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Millions of people across the country participated in Shakeout Day. And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, the mastermind behind the October 7th attacks against Israel is dead. We'll have the latest from the Middle East. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from Oswego, Kansas, ahead of the Oswego Fall Bazaar. Well, topping Nation Watch this morning. A new government survey shows encouraging news in teen health as uses of risky health products declines. A CDC survey shows teen smoking and teen tobacco use overall hit an all-time low in 2024. Now, the survey shows a 20% drop in teens using at least one tobacco-related product, such as cigarettes, electronic cigarettes, nicotine pouches, and hookahs. Now, health officials say tobacco price increases and public health campaigns are helping drop those rates. Well, a beloved Disney character will make her debut in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade this year. Minnie Mouse will debut as a 60-foot tall balloon in the parade. The Macy's studio team is working on the balloon design. Mickey Mouse and Pluto entered the parade in 1934. Donald Duck came in 1935 and Goofy popped up in 1992. But in between, no Minnie charm until now. Well, the most wanted man in Israel is now dead. Israeli forces confirmed they killed Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar, the man believed to be behind the October 7th massacre. Now his death could be a turning point in the war in Gaza, where thousands have died and have been displaced. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has the story.
Israel delivered a powerful blow to Hamas, eliminating its top leader Yahya Sinwar during a firefight Wednesday. His death is renewing hopes of a ceasefire and an end to the war in Gaza.
Good day for the world.
President Biden congratulated Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu after the death of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar, the man believed to be the mastermind of the October 7th massacre in Israel last year. With him out of the picture, the Biden administration is hoping for a breakthrough in stalled ceasefire talks.
There's been no path to ending this war because Sinwar has refused to talk about releasing the hostages or coming to a ceasefire. We now see an opportunity with him being removed from the battlefield.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken will be traveling to Israel, hoping to seize that opportunity. But Prime Minister Netanyahu warned the war isn't over yet. He delivered a message directly to the people of Gaza.
This war can end tomorrow. It can end if Hamas lays down its arms and returns our hostages.
Israeli officials released new video of what it says were Sinwar's final moments. Drone video allegedly captured him sitting in a chair with his face covered inside a partially demolished building. The IDF says the structure collapsed during shelling, killing Sinwar. The Hamas leader wasn't the target of the attack, and he was identified later using DNA and dental records. Sinwar was allegedly found with a bulletproof vest, grenades, and more than $10,000 in Israeli cash. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
And those are our top national stories. Here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, looking at the future track into this afternoon, not much out there, but the winds will be picking up across the area. And similar to what we saw yesterday in the northwestern portions, those gusts 30 to 40, and in southeastern portions of our area, 20 to 30. We'll have another full forecast in just a moment. And a little later, a group of kiteboarders are working to raise money for those battling cancer. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:18 now on this Friday morning. We're going to start with that future track. So as we end the afternoon, as mentioned, the winds are going to pick back up again. They'll start picking up a little later this morning. So even though at this point we don't have any red flag warnings out there, that does not mean that it's a good idea to start doing any burning yet, because it will still be a little too breezy, a little too dry for that. Temperatures today will be warming up, though. A lot of us are relatively close to average, if not right at normal today. We'll have another chilly start for our Saturday. So again, we've got the Maple Leaf Parade in the morning. Of course, anything you may be doing in the morning, just as a heads up, it's going to be a little cool. Upper 40s, some low 50s out there. But if you are doing anything in the afternoon, just be also prepared, because it's going to start to warm up. Now, tomorrow we're looking to be at or just a little above normal. So not a significant change in temperatures as we head into Saturday. But then by Sunday, Again, not a major increase, but enough so that we're looking at more of us reaching into the upper 70s as we head into the afternoon hours for our highs on Sunday, and that is ahead of even warmer conditions next week. Again, the winds today in roughly that same zone. From this line northwest, they could be gusting out of the south 30 to 40 miles an hour. If you're southeast of that, on average about 20 to 30 mile an hour wind gusts. And these will continue through today, and it'll be later this evening and into the overnight that we'll actually start to see them ease up. And for Saturday, winds looking considerably more manageable out there. We're sitting at 45 in Joplin. It does feel like 42, so a slight wind chill with the southeast breeze at 6. Otherwise, clear skies out there. Across the area, the majority of us are in the low, mid, and upper 40s. We have a stretch of 30s along the 69 corridor from Miami, Grove, and Jay. And then at Stockton sitting at 36. But otherwise, it's chilly, but not a terrible start for an October day. Mid 40s by 8, clear skies out there. Again, through the morning, the winds will start picking up. We'll go low 60s by 11 o'clock this morning. Into the afternoon, most of us low 70s, some upper 60s still possible. But again, all in all, aside from that wind, not a bad Friday. As we head into tonight, we're going to have those clear skies initially, and we'll start to see a few clouds across the area late evening and overnight, with our lows falling back again mid-upper 40s for most of us. Then as we head down the road over the next 10 days, again, warm this weekend, upper 70s. We got those rain chances Monday night, or late Monday rather, into early Tuesday. Take a look at these temperatures. They start climbing up. Once we get past those rain chances, as you can see, temperatures now 10, 12 degrees above normal as we go back into the mid and maybe even some upper 80s in the second half of the next work week. That is a check of your forecast. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this. Cancer survivors are getting a unique opportunity. A group of kiteboarders is giving them a free camping experience.
Kiteboarders for Cancer is a week-long fundraising event that's still very new. Kylan Hall tells us the group raised nearly $20,000 last year.
It's a serious cause, but these kiteboarders are all smiles when the winds pick up.
Oh my God, it's so fun. You can choose where you go. You can fly high up into the air if you like that. You can ride a surfboard and shred waves, or you can just use a twin tip board. You can ride a foil board and go super far.
Roger Wakeman comes in from Chicago, and even though this year's event is 2 weeks shorter, he's still hoping to rack up at least 100 miles.
Over $3,000 myself. I came in second in the fundraising overall out of all the riders, and then the Kiteboard for Cancer Lake Michigan overall raised almost $20,000 and sent 9 people to Camp Koru.
These competitors are serious about their numbers. Some even stay out later than the sun to push the envelope.
Last year was quite a whirlwind of emotions, because not only were we trying to raise as much money for this amazing organization, Project Koru, but also there was the competition involved. And so there were duels between different categories of the racing, especially in the kiteboarding category, where one person would go out and do 70 miles, and then the next person would like look at the stats and like push their session past sunset.
Founded in Oregon, Project Koru is now led by Michigan native Beth Peck, a cancer survivor who saw the value in the camps and decided to get involved.
During the camps, Beth, offers surfing lessons and other water sport activities, as well as off the water activities where they can just hit the reset button.
Certainly an incredible program and a great opportunity for those folks.
Absolutely. Really cool to see, too, how, they're using something so fun to give back to others.
Absolutely.
Well, coming up, a popular Branson tourist attraction announces big plans for expansion in 2026.
And we've got a beautiful but chilly start to the day. It's going to be a little warmer this afternoon. We'll have a look at your forecast when we come back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. The time now is 7:29. I'm Elise Noe. Well, a theme park in Southwest Missouri announces a major expansion. Yesterday, Silver Dollar City announced plans to invest $500 million over the next decade on the park's biggest expansion. The plans include new family adventures, including the development of 1,200 acres adjacent to the Ozark Mountain theme park. That's in addition to the debut of Silver Dollar City Resort, which will feature more than 200 guest rooms.
$500 million invested over the next 10 years is this company's belief in the state of Missouri and in the region called the Ozark Mountains.
The Silver Dollar City Resort is scheduled to open in late 2026. Well, city officials and the Joplin Historic Preservation Commission members met last night to discuss plans to survey Joplin's North Heights neighborhood. Now, the goal to identify the area's historic buildings and sites and to make sure they are preserved. Over a 3-year period, inspectors will visit homes and structures to see if they fit the criteria.
Ultimately, the goal is to have the information needed from a preservationist point of view to nominate a National Register district to National Historic Register.
Now, according to the Joplin Historic Preservation Commission, preservation has proven to be a major contributor to tourism and economic development. Many historic districts have stabilized and some even increased in property values as well. The Coal Valley Pumpkin Company started in 2023 in Weir, Kansas. Now, they specialize in growing a variety of specialty pumpkins. You can also take advantage of all the pumpkin varieties by booking a mini photo session. All proceeds go to help their daughter.
First year we only had 9 varieties. We were just kind of testing the waters to see what would grow, if we would have success growing pumpkins. And we did, thankfully, and so we decided to expand quite a bit more. Obviously, we have 51 varieties this year instead of 9, and we've opened the patch to the public.
The Coal Valley Pumpkin Company is open Saturdays from 10 to 4 and Sundays from 10 to 2. Now let's check in with Chris for a look at the forecast.
Yeah, we again have a chilly start out there, but a beautiful start to the day. Take a look at sunrise from our camera in downtown Pittsburgh. Looking great this morning. Same from our camera at 7th and Range Line. Heading down to the MoDOT camera 20th and Range Line off to the southwest. Well, we've got clear skies out there, and it's looking great also. KDOT camera 69 and East 520th Avenue. As we head into this afternoon, even through the morning hours, we're talking about those winds picking up. So we're talking south winds out there, gusting in that same zone as before. So this crudely drawn line I'm making. In the northwestern part of our area, we're talking that 30 to 40 mile an hour range will be possible. If you're southeast of this point, we're talking still 20, 30 mile an hour wind gusts. So even though we don't have any red flag warnings, that does not mean it's any safer to burn. So please, no outdoor burning. Outside of that, you can see there's really not much going on. Temperatures today for most of us, close to, if not right at normal. Then later this evening, could see a few stray clouds roll in, and those will continue into the overnight. Quick look at temperatures, 45, both Joplin and Pittsburgh right now, and across the region. We've had some colder temperatures in our southern counties, still do 30s, Miami, Grove, Jay, and Cassville. And the rest of us, for the most part here, low, mid, and upper 40s across the region. We will eventually warm again, upper 60s, low 70s, so pretty close to normal, sunny skies and dealing with those south winds. It's going to start to warm up even more so over the weekend and next week, and we have some rain chances to go over. All of that coming up here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Shannon Becker joins us in the studio to share his big 3 news stories of the week. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from Oswego, Kansas, ahead of the Oswego Fall Bazaar. Welcome back. We've got Shannon Becker in the studio with his big 3 news stories of the week. How are you this morning, Shannon?
I'm well, and you?
Wonderful.
All
Thanks
right.
for asking.
Let's take a look at the big three stories this week, live and local. What's happening where you live? A story that unfolded. It was almost unbelievable, and almost unbelievable, I'm sure, to everybody else. But that car right there had a 3- and 4-year-old boy in it. Driver DWI. The father of these boys charged now. It's a felony DWI. Amazingly, it went off a county road, overturned countless times, threw the motor out of the front of the car about 20 feet further.
Unbelievable.
Had to pull it out of the creek, and no one was injured. Can you believe that? Everybody, of course, wearing their seatbelts.
That's a miracle.
Totally
Oh my
a miracle.
gosh.
Totally a miracle. Those boys were unhurt. Our KOAM News Now story is online right now. Number 2 story, a 10-year-old boy is killed in a collision with an SUV in Granby. This tragic story unfolded late this last week.
Yes.
The boy died at the scene. Coroner claimed the body. More details on our website. They just had the services for him, and they are raising money for the family.
Yes.
I mean, of course, a sudden need, obvious. Very tragic story in Granby. Our number 1 story, KOAM News Now, a fire in Rogers, Arkansas. You could see the smoke. People say, I could see it from South Joplin. I mean, we're talking, it's 50 miles away. Yeah, you could see this smoke. It's from it's a recycling plant. So what it was fueling that fire were these big cardboard recycling bales. It's they're real thick, real dense.
Yes.
And there's different paint and different stuff on those cardboard boxes. So really dense smoke. They're still there on the scene. Yesterday afternoon, they started breaking those bales apart and getting some more, not necessarily water, but kind of a foam onto it to kind of stop that fire.
And monitoring the air quality
Yes,
as well, I'm
yes.
sure.
They say the air quality is normal, but there's still a lot of smoke that's coming around that exact area there in northeast Rogers. And our bonus story of the week, here's one that'll make you smile, make you a little scared too, maybe. It's our drive-by light list. We started doing this during COVID because nobody could get around and do things.
Yes, of
so
course.
you could drive around and see everything with the kids. So the list is out, and it's growing a little bit. If you know of any places, you can message us. The old favorites are there, like we showed just Drake and Moore a while ago. Our friends Sheila and Brad Brown over there on Kent Street in north part of Joplin.
Incredible displays.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
This is one of our good friends, Colby and his wife. He's a Joplin firefighter, and they've continued to grow every year. They've got 2 boys, so it's easier, when you got workers there like that. You can donate to St. Jude's also at one of the locations. It's on our website, KOAM News Now. It's our bonus story of the week, the big 3.
Absolutely. Lots to look forward to with that light show. And Shannon, as always, thank you so much for being with us this morning, and thank you for all the work that you do.
Thank you.
Happy to have you. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 7:41, or just about to be, on this Friday morning. And as we look at the future track, we'll have southerly winds out there. They'll be gusting again across the region. So again, even though we don't have red flag warnings today, no outdoor burning. The good news is these winds will begin to let up later this evening and overnight. And we'll have another cool night ahead of us and a cool start to the day. So if you're going to the Maple Leaf Parade or anything else early in the morning tomorrow, just be prepared. It's going to be low, mid 40s, maybe some upper 40s out there. However, also be prepared if you're doing anything later in the day, because it is going to warm up. We'll be at or just a little above normal as we head into Saturday afternoon, and that warming trend will continue into our Sunday as well. So another cool start though, upper 40s, maybe some low 50s. By Sunday afternoon though, temperatures climbing, and this time they're going to be a little more above normal. Many of us mid upper 70s. And keep in mind, our average is low 70s at this time of the year. All right, so roughly, again, this line, it's a crude line, but you get the idea. Like yesterday, northwestern portion of our viewing area, wind gusts today could be 30 to 40 miles an hour. The southeastern half of it, they'll be in that 20 to 30 mile an hour range. But as I mentioned, once we head into the evening and overnight, these winds will begin to die down and be a lot more respectable for us as we head into our Saturday. Right now, great view from our camera at 7th and range line. 45 in Joplin. Clear skies. Feels like 42 with that southeast breeze at about 6 miles an hour. So not a major wind chill, but a bit of a nip to the air. Around the area, again, in a weird twist, our southern counties are the ones where the cooler spots are. Usually it's the northern counties, but we've got 30s, Cassville, Anderson, Miami, Grove, and Jay. And the rest of us, though, hanging out low, mid, and even some upper 40s across parts of southeastern Kansas. All right, getting the day started. Mid-40s out there by 8, sunny skies, low 60s by 11, and of course through the morning hours is when those winds will begin to whip up out there once again. Clear skies, breezy. Most of us low 70s, right about where we should be, but some will only reach the upper 60s today, especially in the eastern half of our viewing area. As we go into the evening, again, a few clouds will be possible later this evening. Mid-50s by 10, overnight lows, again, mid-upper 40s across the region with mostly clear skies. Looking pretty good Saturday, Sunday, but that warming trend continues. Still watching that chance for some rain on Monday. It looks to be late Monday, potentially into early Tuesday out there. However, take a look. Once we get to Tuesday and beyond next week, yeah, it's going to start to heat up again. Now we're talking 10, 12 degrees above normal as we see a return to the mid-80s, maybe even some upper 80s in the second half of the next work week. That's checking your forecast. Now here's Elise with Consumer Watch.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, you'll be paying more for a mortgage this week. The average rate on a 30-year mortgage rose for the third week in a row, reaching its highest level in 8 weeks and is rising to 6.444%, according to Freddie Mac. Now, just 3 weeks ago, the average rate slipped to its lowest level in 2 years. Mortgage rates are influenced by several factors, including how the bond market reacts to the Fed's interest rate policy decisions. The FCC announces it will soon require all mobile phones sold in the U.S. to be compatible with hearing aids. The agency approved the new rule yesterday. And the FCC says all mobile phones will also need to meet volume control benchmarks. The agency says companies will have to include it on their website whether their mobile devices are compatible with hearing aids. Now, the agency has not yet set a specific timeline for when the new rules will take effect. Well, this year's election could have an impact on where people want to live. A poll from Realtor.com shows 23% of potential first home buyers are waiting to see where they will live until after the election in November. 63% of respondents say local and national politics are at least slightly influential for where they live. The company says politics is one of the most important considerations for home buyers because it helps them find a place where they feel comfortable in their community. And those are our top consumer stories. Let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. Well, a dog helped a deputy save their owner in Washington State recently. According to the Stevens County Sheriff's Office, a deputy was patrolling a wooded area in Stevens County when he saw a 13-year-old dog named Gita sitting in the road.
The Sheriff's Office said the deputy tried to get Gita inside his car so they could try and find the owner, but Gita wouldn't go inside. What happens next is an amazing story of love from man's best friend.
It was here at this cabin in the middle of Stevens County where Gita rescued her owner, Keith Johnson, ultimately saving his life after he rescued her 13 years ago as a puppy.
She knew I needed help and she knew what she needed to do to get it.
It was a day that started just like any other, but it would soon become a day Keith Johnson would never forget.
It occurred to me that I might die out there.
On Wednesday, September 25th, Keith woke up to the sound of his continuous glucose machine telling him his blood sugar was low. But while on the way to the fridge to get some juice, he noticed his dog Gita needed to go outside.
And I thought Gita and I would both just pee and come back inside.
But Gita had other plans.
Instead, she wanted to go off down toward the woods.
Keith got about 20 or 30 feet from his cabin when he decided to turn around and head back. That's when he suddenly felt dizzy and fell right here, breaking his hip.
I was there 6.5 hours.
Waiting for someone to help him.
I would call for help and Gita would come over. and finally she decided she needed to act on that.
Jumping into action just like Lassie would do.
I found her laying across the center lines. She just stood up and looked at me, and she looked back towards the driveway and then looked at me, and then she took off up the driveway.
Getting the attention of Deputy Colton Wright, bringing him back to help her dad.
I was immensely relieved that I'd been saved. And then I discovered that it was Gita.
When I was standing at the truck and I looked this way, I could see Keith laying here with his hand in the air, calling out for help. I ran down to Keith. I asked him, are you okay? Like, what hurts? He told me that his leg hurt. So I ran back up to my truck, got on the radio and asked for medical to respond, and hung out with him here until EMS arrived.
He said, your dog's a hero. She saved your life today. And that was my first thought too.
Keith says he's grateful the world gets to see just how special Gita is. The sheriff's office Facebook post about Gita's heroism went viral overnight.
People are giving credit where credit is due to Gita.
While the road to recovery is still a long ways away, Keith is making good progress here at Providence St. Joseph Medical Center, with frequent visits from his best friend.
Well, certainly incredible there, and it's great to see, that dog helping its owner when he needed it. I know
she went for help. She did the right thing. And got that taken care of. 6 hours out there too.
Oh, can you
I
imagine?
couldn't even begin to imagine,
wow.
especially up in Washington this time of year. It gets pretty chilly pretty
really
quick.
does.
Speaking of chilly, we got a bit of a chilly start out there for us this morning. We will eventually warm up as we head into the afternoon across the region. We're also going to be dealing with those gusty winds coming back up out of the south, again in that same zone, 30 to 40 mile an hour zone, and then south of that 20 to 30 mile an hour wind gusts. So again, even though there may not be red flag warnings or anything in place, absolutely no outdoor burning. Now the winds will let up as we head into the evening and into Saturday, and temperatures are going to be a little bit warmer. It's a chilly start again. Maple Leaf Parade or anything else you're doing in the morning, it's going to be in the 40s, maybe some low 50s, but by the afternoon, it's going to be pretty decent. Temperatures at or maybe just a little above average for our Saturday. And you can see as well, there's those wind gusts. And again, it's not a perfect line, but in this section, mainly into southeastern Kansas, is where the opportunity for those 30 to 40 mile an hour wind gusts will be. If you're southeast of that, we're looking more at 20 to 30. And those will persist through most of the day. It'll be overnight tonight that we'll finally see those winds, and starting into Saturday morning, come down to much more manageable levels. Quick look at temperatures, talking about chilly start. 45, feels like 42 in Joplin. Southeast breeze at 6. And around the region, some cooler temperatures down in the south. We've got some 30s out there. Miami Grove, Anderson, Cassville, and Jay. And everybody else, for the most part, low to mid 40s to start the day. So about mid 40s by 8. Sunny skies. Winds will start increasing. Will be about 62 by 11 o'clock this morning. Got another look at your forecast and the news you need to know right after this.
Well, here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Police arrest a juvenile suspected of a hoax terroristic threat in Neosho, Missouri. Detectives learned that 2 boys had taken a photo of BB guns that was later edited and posted on social media by a 12-year-old girl. Police say the photo indicated that a school shooting was to take place Wednesday. Detectives determined that it was a hoax and no real threat existed. Well, some Oklahomans are suing to prevent mandating Bibles in schools. More than 30 Oklahomans have been named as plaintiffs in a lawsuit against the Oklahoma superintendent regarding his order to have the Bible as a required material in every Oklahoma public school classroom. Now, the plaintiffs are seeking a judgment stating that the Bible education mandate is invalid and unenforceable. And Silver Dollar City announces a major expansion for late 2026. The plans include new family adventures, including the development of 1,200 acres adjacent to the Ozark Mountain theme park. That's in addition to the debut of Silver Dollar City Resort, which will feature more than 200 guest rooms.
And we've got temperatures about average today, low 70s, maybe some upper 60s. And again, the south winds gusting 20, 30, potentially upwards of 40 miles an hour out there. So please, again, no outdoor burning. Winds will eventually ease up late tonight and into early tomorrow morning. Could have a few clouds later this evening, and overnight temperatures back into the the mid to upper 40s rather. Mid upper 70s tomorrow, so at or maybe just a pinch above normal Saturday. More so above normal Sunday. Still watching rain chances late Monday into early Tuesday, and then temperatures taking off after that, back to that 10 to 12 degree above normal range as we see them climbing into the low, mid, and maybe even upper 80s across the area, so we're going to have to contend with all of that.
Alrighty. Well, 15 of the world's most talented Lego builders came together to show off their own unique creations at an annual Masterpiece Gallery exhibition at the Lego House in Billund, Denmark. The creations were chosen because they pushed the boundaries of what to build from Lego bricks.
This year, enthusiasts from 9 different countries around the world got their chance to exhibit their imaginative creations, such as a golden dragon, a knight on horseback, and a 1950s styled diner, among many others. Very cool. You can do a lot of interesting things with Legos.
Really
You don't have to follow the set.
No.
If you get enough of them together, you can let your imagination run wild.
Super fun.
Well, hopefully your imagination will run wild a little today. Get out there, enjoy your Friday, and we'll be back with more news and weather at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.